So it's that time again. Quarter 1 release of Star Citizen is giving us 3.5 and it's gone to Wave 1 PTU. I've got my hands on it and I could say it's pretty darn cool. Having our own version of Coruscant in Star Citizen is better than I had expected. I guess I jumped the gun a little bit on that one. There's also a lot of things I didn't expect in this patch, like that person over there in the pink armor. Yeah, that's right, we can now customize our armor just a bit more than we had before. A lot of the same armor sets still exist, but now we have a large array of different colors we can add to those armor sets to make them a little bit more personalized and kind of match our own corporation or personal preference. I personally am very excited for this, as it's going to make our larger corp events much more uniform. I hope. I have to get everyone to wear the same stuff. But I know many of you might be very jealous that I'm in this, and I want to caution you, because you're likely going to be very disappointed if you were to get into this current release. It is really not ready for a wider release. There are a lot of performance issues right now. A lot of people are getting very bad frame rates, whereas others inexplicably are getting great frames, and their systems aren't necessarily reflecting kind of how you would expect them to reflect. So people with lower end systems are getting really high FPS, and people with high end systems are getting low FPS. There's something that's going on in the background that they're going to have to try to fix. I know they're actively working on it. So guys, sit tight. You're going to get a really good version of 3.5, but it's going to take some time. Obviously, the flight model is something that a lot of people are very excited about. And because of that, I'm actually going to be showcasing a comparison side by side of the version 3.4 and the version 3.5 of the flight model using aerodynamic ships and non-aerodynamic ships. Specifically, I'll be using the Arrow and the Aurora, comparing both the 3.4 and 3.5 versions, so you guys can see what it actually means to have aerodynamic flight characteristics and atmosphere. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting comparison. At least it's going to be something a little bit more tangible that most people will be able to understand. According to what the devs have said, the full version of the aerodynamic system is not fully implemented, at least in a state that they're happy with in 3.5, and so they're going to try to patch it up this week to get it to a point where they're happy. Personally, I can't wait to be flying amongst the buildings in a very light, agile aerodynamic ship to test out the new mechanics and just kind of enjoy ArcCorp for what it is. If you guys love my Architect review series, I will be doing a 600i touring version review of the interior, and of course the new 300i, which has spawned some controversial conversation about the changes they made from the original concepts interior to the current interior. I personally have found the updated version of the interior to be somewhat lackluster in comparison to the old version, but well, maybe they'll update that before the release. I don't know. They've got a lot of things we weren't expecting, like the armor mods, and I think that the interiors actually will now be a slot from what I've heard, so that you can have different grades of interior. So perhaps the 300i's version of interior that we see now is actually the 315p and not the luxury 300i interior. We'll have to see. Of course, I will be doing a bit of a walkthrough with the Architect glasses on for another video. That's going to take quite a bit to go through. There's so much to digest here, so much content to sift through, and so many little cracks and nooks that I wasn't expecting to find here. It's actually a lot more complex than I thought it was going to be, which I'm very happy to report. Of course, I think it'll be worth visiting Lyria and Walla, the two new moons added to Star Citizen 3.5, but we will again be saving those for another video. For now, I'm going to leave you with this quick update just to let you know that I'm still here and I still am making content for Star Citizen. Of course, I'll be producing content on other games, and you're going to be able to find me making such content on Star Citizen and more over on my Twitch channel, which will be provided in the description below. So what are you guys excited for in the new version of 3.5? What have you been looking for? What has surprised you? And maybe even what's disappointed you? I personally am a bit blown away by the level of detail at Area 18, and so I'm going to have to revise my little comparison video I made earlier to reflect the impressive version that we have today. So that and much more coming in the future. I hope you guys will join me. That's all for now. I've been Morphologist. I'll see you guys in the verse.